Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers. Welcome to the daily cricket show Cricket Happenings with your host Ram, this on a Saturday. As far as today's Cricket Happening show goes, I'll be talking about the first day's play in the final test match of the Border Gavaskar Trophy series, which was played at a new venue for India, which for the first time was hosting a test match. We are talking about Dharamshala, which had the snow-capped mountains as its backdrop. As I said yesterday, it was a picturesque situation there, and I can tell you that in that Dharamshala, in that new ground, the man who made the difference was someone who probably one would have not expected to be selected, but India made a very bold selection by getting Kuldip Yadav, and also Kuldip Yadav became the first Chinaman bowler to represent India in Test history. And what a debut for Kuldip Yadav. The Aussies were screeching along at 131 for 1 with Smith and Warner at the crease, with Smith definitely getting a century and also getting this was his 7th century in 8 matches against India. But Kuldip Yadav was the one who started the drift for the Aussies, as the Aussies from 131 for 1, Kuldip Yadav really putting a very good exhibition on his test debut of Chinaman, Googlies, the wrong ones, and he was the one who bamboozled the Aussies from 131 for 1, and the Aussies were all out on the first day itself for 300, and with 1 over left for play, Murli Vijay and Rahul saw off the over from Hazelwood, and the battle will be resuming tomorrow in the final test match. So I'll be talking in greater detail after this summary. And the other thing is, yesterday as I was speaking to you, from whatever I spoke to you, there was not much of a difference with rain actually really following at Seddon Park in Hamilton. And I'm also afraid to say that rain is something which is forecast even for the next 4 days of the test match, which is not good news. So South Africa will be happy that they have already clinched the series. New Zealand had a chance to square it, but it looks unlikely now. And I thought the New Zealand bowlers did a good job, especially crippled by the absence of prime strike bowlers Ten Bolt and Tim Southee. They still did a very good job to have the Kiwi bowlers did a good job to have the South Africans at 123 for 4 when rain stopped play on the first day of the third test match at Seddon Park in Hamilton. And while I'm talking to you, I can give you a live cricket update on the first one-day international that's right now underway here at Dambulla, and Bangladesh scored their highest ever score, in the sense that this was the highest ever score against the Sri Lankans. 324 for 5 is what they posted on the board, thanks to Tamim Iqbal getting his 8th ODI century. And what a picture of concentration Tamim Iqbal's innings was. Also Shakib Al Hasan contributing 72, and Mosaddek Hussain hitting it towards the end, with Bangladesh finishing on 324 for 5 against the Lankans. And as I said yesterday, this Bangladesh team is looking immensely talented, and I think they are out here to produce results. And also I can give you one very important statistic here, saying that Bangladesh so far, whenever they have made, this is the first time they made a 300 total against Lanka. And if I look at the stats here, I can tell you every time the Bangladesh have scored 300, almost I would say they made it probably 10 times now with this, and 9 times out of 10 they have won the match. There's only one time that they lost the match, and that was against Pakistan at Dhaka. Other than that, they have won all the time whenever they made. So they would definitely be favorites. And as I'm talking to you, the Sri Lankans are really struggling at 43 for 3. We are in the 15th over, Dinesh Chandimal is not out on 11. Gunaratne is not out on 8. We will come back and I will keep you posted as to what's happening as and when something happens. So right now I'm going to start off with the first day's play in the final test match between India and Australia, and India definitely sprung a surprise by bringing in Kuldip Yadav to make his test debut, and as I said, he was the first Chinaman bowler ever to play for India, and he represented India. So that was history was being made as far as the 27th Avenue Dharamshala was concerned. He was hosting the test for the first time in picturesque surroundings, and Kuldip Yadav was the one who made his debut, and his debut was a very, very memorable debut as he sank the Aussies from 131 for 1 to 300 all out. Now, just talking about the game here, it was a good toss to win. The toss was actually won by the Aussies, and Aussies decided to bat first. Aussies deciding to bat first, we saw, and also India also made some changes too. Other than that, they had Bhuvaneshwar Kumar coming onto the team with Virat Kohli not playing. Kuldip Yadav took his place. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar came in place of Ishan Sharma. Other than that, the team remained the same. So Murli Vijay also stood the fitness test very well, which was good. And Australia were the ones who were on strike against the Indian bowlers. And immediately one saw that the ball was really moving out. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was the one who started off with the red cherry, and he definitely saw that the ball was moving in the air. There's no doubt about it. Also, there was good carry on the pitch, a nice pace on the wicket, and even the spinners were getting some purchase, which was good to see. But it all started off with Bhuvaneshwar Kumar starting it, and what a sensational start it would have been had Karun Nair at slip actually held on to the catch which was offered of the very first ball of the match, when Bhuvaneshwar Kumar got the ball to swerve away from David Warner, and David Warner was committed to the shot, and the ball flew to the left of Karun Nair at the slips, and Karun Nair at the slips made a good effort but floored it. But probably that was a catch which could have been taken as far as the experts were concerned. So David Warner and Renshaw started off. Matt Renshaw was the next over. It was India did not wait for the first wicket, even though Warner was dropped. Matt Renshaw was dismissed very early, and that was a big wicket. As you know, Matt Renshaw is someone who always has proved tough to dislodge, and it was Umesh Yadav rewarded for some beautiful bowling. He kept the ball up to the batsman. He pitched the ball on the off stump. It just moved just that wee bit for Matt Renshaw to be beaten on his defensive stroke, and the ball went on to hit the timber. So Matt Renshaw was gone bowled by Umesh Yadav for 1, and the Aussies were 10 for 1. In walked then the Aussie captain Stephen Smith to join David Warner. There was a bit of a sort of a period when both Warner and Smith started off by really seeing off the new ball pair of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Umesh Yadav, but in between, whenever they got an opportunity, they were definitely banking on that to actually dismiss it for boundaries. As that was going on, and suddenly we saw a lot of activity from the Aussies as runs started really coming in pretty quickly, with David Warner also hitting some nice boundaries, getting himself into some bit of form here overseas, and Stephen Smith was definitely launching into the bowling beautifully, as this partnership was really had taken Australia out of the woods after the early dismissal of Matt Renshaw, and the partnership was really going strong with 134 runs added. But after lunch, the lunch was definitely belonged to Australia, especially even after they lost the wicket. They took the score on to 130 odd, and after when the afternoon session, we saw Kuldip Yadav coming up with a different plan, and where he was forcing the batsman to actually drive at him while bowling full length deliveries, and that's what he precisely did. It all started off, the real problem started for Aussies after lunch, when Kuldip Yadav was into the bowling attack. So Kuldip Yadav got his maiden wicket by forcing David Warner to edge one, which flew to Rahane. Rahane held it, and Rahane, as you know, was the one who was captaining the Indians for the first time in a test match. And David Warner, after making 56 with 8 fours and 1 6, was a goner after lunch. After that, Shaun Marsh, what a delivery from Umesh Yadav, who actually forced Shaun Marsh to actually have a flick at it, and the leg side resultant edge was taken behind the sticks by Riddhiman Saha. He was gone for 4, and Peter Handscomb received a beautiful delivery, the delivery of the day from Kuldip Yadav. It was a Chinaman which actually pitched outside the off stump and went on to pick up the off stump of Handscomb. Handscomb was gone, bowled by Kuldip Yadav for 8, which made it 168 for 4. Glenn Maxwell walked in, and Glenn Maxwell started to really wanted to really wield the long handle at Kuldip Yadav, and he actually hit him for a boundary. But Kuldip Yadav was the one who really believes in actually tossing the ball to the batsman and forcing them to make mistakes, and that's what he precisely did. He tossed a delivery at Maxwell, and Maxwell was totally bemused by this, as the ball, Maxwell knew nothing of this delivery from Kuldip Yadav, which pitched in and went on to hit the stumps, and Maxwell was absolutely bemused. And the Aussies, who were really going on very well at 131 for 1, suddenly found themselves in all sorts of trouble at 178 for 5. Stephen Smith was there, so that was the good part for the Aussies. After that, it was Ravichandran Ashwin who took the wicket. After that, we had a brief partnership when Matthew Wade came in, and Matthew Wade, I thought he played a good hand. He started trying to resurrect things for Australia with a brief partnership with Stephen Smith. But Stephen Smith, after contributing 111, as I said, this was his 7th century in 8 matches, and he also became the first Aussie captain to have scored 3 centuries against India in a test series. And when his score was Nelson, he was 1-1-1. His wicket was taken by Ravichandran Ashwin, as Stephen Smith was caught by Rahane in the slips, out with 14 boundaries, and that was a big wicket for the Aussies, for the Indians. After that, Cummins and Wade really started getting into the nerves of the Indians, in the sense they started really settling down nicely, and the partnership was doing a good job, where they had added I think it was 37 runs, and then it was Cummins was the next to go. This was Kuldip Yadav tossing one to Cummins, and Cummins obliging by giving a return catch to Kuldip Yadav, who gleefully held it. He was gone for 21 with 3 fours and 1 6, and then a superb piece of fielding from the substitute young Shreyas Iyer, hitting the stumps absolutely on the blind spot, one could say, and Steve O'Keefe was run out for 8. In fact, it was collected by Saha. It was a nice throw, and it was Steve O'Keefe on his way run out for 8 with 2 boundaries. After that, we saw Matthew Wade get on to 50, and he had contributed 57 with 4 fours and 1 6, as Ravindra Jadeja bowled a beautiful delivery to Matthew Wade, which Matthew Wade knew little about. He was clean bowled for 57, and the last man to go was Nathan Lyon, caught very well by Pujara, lunging forward to take the catch of the bowling of Bhuvneshwar Kumar for 13 with 2 boundaries. Hazelwood was not out on 11, and because of Kuldip Yadav really bowling superbly, it hastened the end of the Aussie innings, and the Aussies were all out for 300. The bowling, well, definitely one has to doff our hats to Kuldip Yadav for his wonderful debut, and as I said, he is the first Chinaman bowler in Indian Test history. 23 overs, 3 made and 68 runs and 4 wickets. The other wickets were shared. Bhuvneshwar Kumar doing a good job. 12.3 overs, 2 made and 41 runs and 1 wicket. Umesh Yadav 15 overs, 1 made and 69 runs and 2 wickets, also bowled well. Ashwin 23-5, 54 runs and 1 wicket, and Jadeja bowling 15 overs, 1 made and 1 for 57. India had 1 over of Josh Hazlewood to face. Rahul was the one who faced all the 6 balls and went unscathed, as India in only 1 over that they faced, they finished with none for none. So India will be resuming the battle on the morrow. And what a nice day of cricket here at Dharamshala cricket ground, which definitely belonged to the debutant Chinaman bowler, first Chinaman bowler in Test history for India, Kuldip Yadav. Well, so from here we shift off to the next match, and as I'm talking to you, I will give you, I will try to see whether I can give you a live cricket update here at Dambulla, where the Sri Lankans have moved to 56 for 3. We are in the 17th over right now. The required run rate is definitely spiraling right now. It's gone over to the 8 mark. Chandimal is not out on 20 of 29 deliveries, 1-4. Nasula Gunaratne is keeping him company. 12 of 21 deliveries, 1-4. I'll come back to that later. In the meanwhile, South Africa, as I said, yesterday I've already spoken about 2 or 3 wickets. Bruin was making his test debut. It was out for naught. Dean Elgar was done in by Granholm with a nice delivery. He was gone for 5. Hashim Amla strokeful 50 with 9 delectably timed boundaries. But Amla was out on a shot that is normally considered his favorite stroke, and that is his whip through the legs. And he actually missed the delivery and lost his middle stump to Granholm. Dumini, unconvincing 20 out to the bowling of Henry. Du Plessis was not out on 33 with 7 boundaries. Bavuma was not out on 13. As stumps on day 1 with rain stopping play. South Africa 123 for 4. The bowling from the Kiwis was absolutely on the mark. Matt Henry 10 overs 2 minutes 25 runs and 2 wickets, bowled superbly. Granholm really got some real assistance from the pitch here. 16 overs 3 minutes 2 for 43. Wagner 13 overs 2 minutes none for 44. Used the short ball a bit sparingly there. Jitan Patel bowled 2 overs for 10 runs. So now let's get on to the match between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, which is underway right now. So I'm going to give you some as to what really happened. So actually this is the first match of the one-day international series played at Rangiri Dambulla International Stadium, and the toss was actually won by the Sri Lankans, and Sri Lanka decided that Bangladesh will bat first. And also Bangladesh had Mehdi Hasan Miraz, Rana Murphy actually making his one-day international debut, and I thought that was the right way to go. Bangladesh were the ones who started it. Soumya Sarkar and Tamim Iqbal they got off to a very decent start. I mean, they had already hit 29 runs in the 5 overs, but Soumya Sarkar was a victim as he was caught by Chandimal of the bowling of Lakmal for 10, 2 boundaries, 10 of 13 deliveries, so he was gone. So that made it 29 for 1. Sabir Rahman came in 1 drop in his customary one-day position, and Sabir Rahman and Tamim Iqbal settled down very nicely to get a bit used to the wicket. Once they did that, we definitely saw runs really coming in a nice manner, as Tamim Iqbal was stroking the ball to a nicety. Sabir Rahman, as you know, he has this aggressive vein of batting that he does, and he was also stroking the ball sweetly and smoothly, and this partnership was really going on very well, and they had actually taken the Bangladeshis out of a hole, and the score had reached 119 with some aggressive strokes being played by Tamim Iqbal and Sabir Rahman. And finally it was Gunaratne who picked up this wicket of Sabir Rahman after Sabir Rahman notched up 54 with 10 very nicely hit boundaries. Mushfiqur Rahim was cheaply dismissed, giving a return catch to the Chinaman bowler Sandakan for 1, and then the score was 120 for 3. But there was no reason for any problems for Bangladesh, as the experienced Shakib Al Hasan joined Tamim Iqbal at the other end and started really blunting the Lankan attack by taking a sort of they passed through a passive spell in the middle overs, and then once again once Shakib Al Hasan got his eye in, he and Tamim Iqbal really started belting boundaries, and it was good to see as the partnership went along. And this was the partnership which really helped Bangladesh to actually get on to a score of 300 odd runs, as Shakib Al Hasan's contribution was 72, but then he was a victim of the bowling of Suranga Lakmal for 72 with 4 fours and 1 6, and Shakib Al Hasan doing a good job, so he was gone. So that made it 264 for 4, and in the death overs, Mosaddeq Hussain, who impressed one and all in the test matches, got in here, and he gave admirable company to Tamim Iqbal. But then Tamim Iqbal himself was dismissed after making his 8th ODI century, 127, 15 fours and 1 6 from Tamim Iqbal. And what a knock from Tamim Iqbal, 127. Very, very matured knock from Tamim Iqbal, as he was the one who really held the fort for the Bangladeshis today, and his contribution 127, 15 fours and 1 6, which was very good to see. And then Mosaddek Hussain, as I said, came in and saw to it that Bangladesh breached the 300 mark with a quick fire innings of an unbeaten 24 of just 9 deliveries, 3 fours and 1 6. And he actually hit Lairu Kumara for a beautiful 6, Mosaddek Hussain. And Mahmudullah finished off with unbeaten 13 with one glorious 6 that he hit in the final over. And Bangladesh posted 324 for 5. Thus, as I said, this was the highest score that they posted against Sri Lanka in ODI. The bowling does not make any happy reading. Lakmal 2 for 45 for 8. Lairu Kumara disappeared for 74 of his 8 overs with 1 wicket. Tisra Pereira 8 overs carted for 63. Pathirana went for 27 of his 5. Sandakan pasted for 43 with 1 wicket of his 8. Gunaratne 10 overs was the pick of the bowlers, 1 for 40 for him. Gunatilaka bowled 3 overs for 22. As I'm talking to you, the Sri Lankans are really struggling. They have lost Gunatilaka very early in the piece, out for naught to the bowling of Murtaza. Taskin Ahmed dismissed Taranga for 19 with 29 balls with 3 fours. Kushala Mendes was cheaply dismissed by the debutant Mehdi Hassan Miraz, the Rada Morphy, getting his maiden one-day international wicket of that of Kushal Mendes, caught for 4. And the score right now, as I'm talking to you, 56 for 3 in the 17th over. A long way to go. Chandimal and Gunaratne are trying to stem the tide. They've moved on to 65, as I'm going to leave you with this live cricket update here from the Rangiri Stadium here in Dambulla, by saying that Sri Lankans are 65 for 3, chasing Bangladesh 324. Chandimal not out 26, 2 boundaries, and Gunaratne is not out 14 with 1 boundary. Well, dear fan subscribers, I hope you all enjoyed this cricket broadcast of mine, and there's more to come on my next cricket broadcast tomorrow. And if at all you still want to follow about what's happening with Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, I will be tweeting on all those matches, as you know, as I regularly do. So get on to my tweets here and look at my tweets to follow the Bangladesh-Sri Lanka game after the match is over. Obviously, I won't be able to do it as the match is going on due to shortage of time, but definitely you can look at my tweets once the match is over. Thanks for your company and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram signing off this on a Sunday. Thank you.